Frank Ragnow of your Detroit Lions. You are now tuning into the official new hotness, the One Pride podcast presented by ISN. This is your source for all Detroit Lions news, rumors, pre- and post-game day breakdowns. Go Lions.
And what is going on, YouTube? This is your host for tonight's One Pride podcast, Mr. MicroMike, and we have a fun one for you tonight. A lot of news, a lot of rumors, the future of the franchise. We're going to go all into this. But before we get into this, if you are not hitting that like button, that's straight nuts. Hit that like button. We need to get those likes all the way up. I'd like to reach 50 quick, fast, in a hurry. And let's introduce the folks for the panel. We got the man who lives in Minnesota. His name is the Dern. What's going on, Dern?
What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's staying safe out there. It's going to be a good one tonight.
It's going to definitely be a good one. That's hashtag Facts on Facts Crime. And we got Mark Oram from Oram's Forum. What's going on, Mark?
What's going on tonight, guys? Hopefully everyone's staying safe. Like Dern said, let's have a good one today.
Definitely. And hopefully his D is very strong because we're going to need a lot of penetration to get all this news and rumors that's going to take place. Before we get into the show, we got to say what is up to everybody in the chat. We got SportsCon 89. What's going on, SportsCon? John Kapler, TA of Noble Sports. Michael Ramirez. Oh, what's going on, Michael? And we got Troy Tribunal, Lions Fan Chat Sports. What's going on? We got Marcus Willis, Jorge in the building, Andrew Lutzford. Welcome. I'm sure people are going to start strolling in here for the show. Yes, we are definitely doing Q&A. The Q&A starts at 7:15, so get your questions ready, R70, and we will get it going. It'll be hashtag Lions or whatever team you're a fan of. 7:15 is when the QA starts. Sports Gamer, what's going on? But we're going to get right into the news, and there's quite a bit of news. Chris Spielman, Mark, was hired to really help out this leadership role. What do you think about Chris Spielman helping the Detroit Lions franchise?
You know what? I think this is a really good hire. This is a smart move by Sheila and Rod Wood, because we know Chris Spielman's going to come in here. He's a special assistant to Sheila and Rod Wood, and he's just going to come in here. He's going to help out with the new search for the GM and the head coach. Mm-hmm. And you start to see guys like Chris Spielman, Barry Sanders, these guys getting involved. I think these guys are just sick and tired of this organization just falling apart. And you're getting a guy in Chris Spielman who's just straight football junkie. He wasn't the greatest athlete on the football field, but he was a guy that was determined, focused, a leader. And that's what he's going to bring, I think, to this front office. And he's well respected. He's going to be well respected in that room. And he knows football. So when he goes and searches for somebody with him and his team, they join a couple other guys, Rod Graves and Mark Hollis, Barry Sanders joining as well. I think it's a great move by this organization because they know the game of football. And Chris Spielman he lives it. So I think it's a great move by the organization.
All right, Sports Gamer joined in. Andrew Lunsford, West Branchbaugh. He is definitely he loves his Spartans, but I think he likes the Oregon Ducks a little bit better. But Dern, what say you? Chris Spielman hired to help this franchise going forward. What is your initial thoughts on Mr. Chris?
My first thoughts is this a PR move to try to show the fans, hey, we're trying to make amends with the players that we kind of messed up before with, like Barry. They hired Barry too because they made that man retire early. So is this just a stunt showing that they're trying to go in a different direction than what they've been doing for a long time and actually show that they care about their players and their former players, especially the ones that were really, really good for them, as in Spielman, Barry, and now who knows, maybe they're going to talk to Megatron soon. You just don't know. But as long as Spielman is not the actual GM, I'm okay with it because I don't think he has the scouting ability that a GM needs to have.
Right.
Anthony Jackson, welcome to the chat. And if I shouted you out, just let me know. I will do that. No, and I agree with you there. And you want to know who else agrees with your opinion there, Dern? Chris Spielman. He stated in his interview, I am not qualified to be a general manager. I would not accept it anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, I love
That's
it.
good. Yeah.
I love it there. Dern, what do you think about that when he said that?
That he's just being truthful. He doesn't have the knowledge of what a GM needs to do because he hasn't been in the scouting department yet. Maybe getting some experience behind an actual general manager, he can maybe get the opportunity one day. But right now, he does not have that experience.
What is going on, Everything King? Everything King is joined in the chat. He is a Detroit Lions YouTuber and Piston. Subscribe to his channel. I'm sure most of you are anyways, but if you're not, you're straight crazy. What do you think about Chris Spielman saying that there, Mark, that he is not the guy? He doesn't want to be the guy because he's not qualified.
Well, like Dern said, he's being truthful. And that's all we can really ask for at this point. You know what I mean? He's coming in here. He's a little bit green. He's obviously a football player, like we all know. He played middle linebacker for the Lions. Everybody knows that. He's one of the Lions greats, but he actually called himself a servant too, actually, if you want to get that deep into it, to Sheila and Rod Wood. So he said he's coming in here and he's gonna learn how to be a special assistant. And afterwards, they don't really know what they're gonna do with him. According to that interview, it's like he's going to come in, do the job search for the GM and the head coach, and then he said that he doesn't really know what his next step is. I think he's coming in here and he's just taking over the football side for Rod Wood. That's basically what it is. So I like that he's truthful about it. He's not coming in here to say, hey, all of a sudden he's the GM. So he's going to learn. He's coming in a little bit green, and that's okay.
Yes,
that's
and I
fine.
think it's really, really important that the franchise does something different than what we have been doing the last 5,000 years. Okay, we bring in a football guy, a guy that understands X's and O's, a guy that understands Detroit, the suffering of the fan base, and gives a little bit of assurance. It's important to have a position of power that understands what the fans are going through because we are fed up of losing. And sometimes I think when you have that ability, when you're in a position, you're kind of in a bubble and you may not see that. I think he's not in that bubble. I think he understands that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to have that for at least for my sake. It is a move that I do enjoy. You know, I'm glad that he's not the guy. I don't think he is qualified to be a general manager. To be in there, absolutely, though, to help out and get what our next question is, and that's the interview process for the general manager. Now, news came out today, well, not today, but, you know, throughout the week, that the Detroit Lions to interview Louis Riddick, Thomas Demitroff. What do you think about that, Dern?
They both should be at least interviewed. We need to find the best GM possible. And I know Louis Riddick hasn't been a GM yet, but he's been a scout for multiple teams. So he has been in that process, in that job. Dimitroff is more interesting to me because he, like we talked about before the show, he's a guy that makes big moves. He jumped up huge in the draft and traded Julio Jones.
Yes.
So he's not afraid to make the team better. So do we need an up-and-coming guy like Riddick that doesn't have the GM experience, or should we get a guy that already has all of that experience and knows what he's doing? That's my question.
That is a question, and we were going to conversate about that, Mark. But what's your initial opinion upon these two individuals that are going to get interviewed or have been interviewed?
I'm completely fine with it. This team needs to really go out there and they need to turn every rock, look under every rug for a guy that they could possibly interview and see who can be the next guy. Now with Louis Riddick, he's a football guy, a former player who has worked for ESPN. He's been a broadcaster. He's currently doing the Monday night games. He's a guy that has worked for the Washington football team. He's has worked for the Philadelphia Eagles as a scout, and he's got promoted in both teams to pro personnel, the director of pro personnel. So he's got that resume on him, and with Thomas Demitroff. Hey, Canadian, by the way, half Canadian, by the way. I salute you, brother. I salute you. His dad actually coached in the CFL, and he's a guy that when I think of Thomas Dimitroff, I think like I was saying earlier before the show, guys. I was like, he's a guy that reminds me. He's offense. It's total offense when it comes to Atlanta Falcons and Thomas Dimitroff during his tenure, and he did some good things in Atlanta. Like you guys said too, he was the guy that made a lot of moves. He made a lot of moves. Made the big trade for Julio. Did some big things over there, man. Probably should have won a Super Bowl. Should have won that Super Bowl when they were up big like that. You know what I mean? And then I'm all for it. Bring a guy in, see what they got, see what they can bring to the table. Let's do it.
You know, it's interesting because I called the Louis Riddick thing a long time ago.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, I was watching Mike Mayock, and then I seen what they did over there with the 49ers. And I said, you know, it'd be interesting if the Lions took a look at Louis Riddick. And I could not believe the fact that he's actually getting interviewed. What's going on, Antone, Don Bird, Chuck Howard? If I didn't call you out, let me know. The reason I think this is interesting is he seems to me like a no-nonsense type of guy. I've seen him do the general manager perspective when they do those mock drafts and they do those trades on ESPN. They always do these special shows, and he's there as the GM. He's like, I'm not going to take this type of player, this player, no nonsense. I have to get this for a draft capital. It's got to be this specific. He doesn't seem like a guy who will get pushed around. And I think that's extremely important to have because we have a lot of big decisions to make here in Detroit, and we can't have a guy that's going to get pushed around. You know, we're going to have to make moves. We got to make thoughts on Matthew Stafford, a lot of these players that we brought in from the New England Patriots. We got a lot of decisions to make, and having a pushover is not a good idea. And I like that aspect. Just because he has not been a GM doesn't necessarily mean he's not qualified. You could have people that were general managers, but they ain't qualified. Let's be real here. We've seen Martin Mayhew. He is a general manager. I want to have him to be our GM again. Just because you've had experience, it doesn't mean it's good experience. Not saying that it's a good or a bad thing, but just case in point, just because experience is not there doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a Matt Millen type of thing. So, and then we look at Thomas Demitroff. When I think of him, I think of hair. This dude's got the straight
style.
Up. He's styling and profiling like he's Ric Flair.
He is.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking. Woo! You know, I'm styling, profiling, got Rolex wearing, you know, limousine riding.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah.
That's what I think of Thomas Dimitroff. And I think of his Julio Jones trade.
Yeah.
How can you not forget that? You made that big jump to get Julio Jones offense, like you said. And so I do respect his experience there, but I felt like he didn't draft a lot of interior offensive defensive line good enough.
Yes.
And to me, I feel like you win in the NFL by the bullies in the middle, the big bodies. So that would be my reservation when I think of Thomas Dimitroff. But he's been successful. So that is good, much better than what we've had. But I am happy that they're going through candidates, a lot of interviews. Okay, let's do the interview process. Comes out, best man wins. And so I'm curious to see more of the people, the Scott Piolis that's probably going to get interviewed, all these other people, you know, that are currently on teams that are still in for the regular season and the playoffs. They're going to be doing a process here, and I'm excited to see it. Another interesting thing that occurred, it happened on Sunday, and that was the Detroit Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford took a massive hit, Mark.
Yeah.
To his ribs. What do you think about Matthew Stafford's injury status right now? Would you shut him down for the rest of the year? What do you think?
You know what? This team isn't. I don't think this team's not going anywhere. We're 2 games out of a playoff wild card. We've got 2 or 3 of the toughest games coming up on the horizon. I can't say that. You know, it's really hard to say to not play him because it's hard to tell a guy like Matthew Stafford not to play. But I know his x-rays came out negative. Yeah, I guess he's in tons of pain. I don't know how his practices have been going really this week. I'm sure he's been very limited. But I would shut him down if I was a coach, because we don't know what's going on with him next year. We don't know if he wants to stay. We don't know what the new GM or the new head coach thinks of him. I don't think he's going to get traded, because I don't think it's money-wise, I don't think it's financially smart to do. So I think he's going to be a Detroit Lion next year for at least one more year. So I would shut him down. I wouldn't play him. What's the point? There's no point, man. He's going to be going up against Tennessee does have a very good defense, but Tampa Bay, they can get to the quarterback. I'd shut him down, evaluate, see what's going on for next year, and then we don't know what he even wants to do. If he's going to retire on us, if we're going to try and trade him, or if he's going to stick around for another year or two. So shut him down. I'm all for shutting him down.
And hey, that makes a lot of quality points right there. Another point is we got 41 in the chat with only 27 thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up, folks. Why do you want to do that? Well, it brings the video out, or in this case, the live stream, to the audience. And clearly, the Detroit Lions brass is starting to listen to the fans. We've seen the moves that's been being made. Obviously, they hear us, so let's get that voice out more. Dern, what say you? Matthew Stafford, hurt ribs. What should we do with Matthew Stafford?
It's very hard to say. The team isn't going to be able to tell him what to do. He's going to be the one to decide. If it was up to the team, they would have taken him out already, because you know how it's said that his status is up in the air and the team isn't very optimistic, but it said that it was up to him if it was ready to go, is what I read. And so I don't think he's going to play this week, at least, but it will all determine how he thinks he is. But I heard that he was in a tremendous amount of pain, like Mark said.
Yeah.
I'd be very, very surprised if he played this weekend. I would take him out personally, though.
Yeah, he got crunched by a 330-pound human being, man.
Right.
He got literally laid on top of him, and his body, like he looked like an accordion, man, when he went down. So I can't see him playing this week.
What's going on, Utility Sports? They are a content creator. Subscribe to Utility Sports. I had them on the One Pride podcast a couple weeks ago.
It
says, "Go Jaguars."
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to win? Make sure you want to get that quarterback and keep it there. When it comes to Matthew Stafford, from my standpoint, I don't think he's playing at all on Sunday. I've already written it off on my Detroit Lions versus the Tennessee Titans breakdown video. We're going to talk about them in a little bit, but I think we need to shut him down. I think it's extremely important to protect this guy. The season is going to be over. Statistically, we're going to be knocked out of the playoffs on Sunday if we lose, because we're going against King Henry here. Let's be real here. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But we got to protect Matthew Stafford from Matthew Stafford. He played a couple of years ago with a broken back. We got to protect this guy. And so I think it's extremely vital from a franchise perspective, protect the quarterback. It's okay. It's only 3 games. The world's not going to be over, just the season. And go to next year, because they're going to have a decision to make. Is Matthew Stafford going to stay on this team, or are we going to trade him? Okay, that is perspective. In either way, whatever decision you decide to make, you want a healthy Matthew Stafford, okay? You don't want him to have broken ribs or some sort of cartilage damage that's going to be long-lasting. You're destroying your asset. The last thing you want to do is destroy assets, because then you'll get kicked in the asset. And we don't want to do that, right? So it's extremely vital to protect him. Yes, go ahead, Dern.
Another thing is that we paid Chase Daniels how much money? So we need to right. So we need to go make sure that we put our money in the right spot by having him play as well. It's a perfect opportunity for him to show us what he has and if it was worth it.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, go ahead.
This is where Darrell Bevell needs to step in and go, okay, you know what? I'm interviewing for a head coaching job here, but he's got to care about Matthew Stafford too at the same time. He's got to care about this organization. You know what I mean? And if Stafford gets put in a pine box, he's worth nothing to nobody. So Daryl Belleville needs to step in and say, hey, man, you know what, man? You got hurt. You could probably barely even breathe. Sit this out. Let's evaluate next year. Let's see what's going on for next year.
And I'm curious to see what the fan base in here thinks right now. Put SD for shut down or put SU for shut up. Let me see what the comment section's got. Do you agree with the shut down? Do you think that we need to shut up? Let me know in the comment section. I am curious. And while that's taking place, let's transition to important stuff going on here. What's going on, Bryce? The Detroit Lions are facing the team, and we got things to look forward to. It may not be the playoffs, but what are you going to be looking forward to besides wins? Are you going to you want to see the Detroit Lions play more of the younger guys? What do you want to see, Dern?
Well, we're technically still in that playoff race at the moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be very, very hard to win without Stafford. So it depends. How does the game go if he doesn't play? After a while, if you don't really have a shot, because I'll explain later on the things I think are going to happen. But if it turns out to be ugly, you should start to play your younger guys to see what you have in them.
Yes, for the next general manager, next head coach to take a look at this roster, is this guy going to be part of the plans going forward? I think that's extremely important because we got a lot of roster we're going to have to look at, and there could be a lot of turnover there, Mark Orem.
Oh, for sure. That's I totally agree on that. Guys need to be evaluated right now. Even a seasoned veteran like Chase Daniel, can he handle starting the next 3 games or 2-3 games, whatever, even though he's been around forever, but we're paying that guy a lot of money. You know what I mean? So, and then guys like Jelani Tavai, who I've been on all year, and man, he needs to play better and he needs to be evaluated. All the younger guys need to be evaluated. So, but like Dern said, these guys are they're in a playoff hunt. I hate those. In the hunt. I hate those 3 words, by the way, because it's not realistic. It's just not. Yeah. It's just not realistic. But you can't tell that to professional football players. You know what I mean? You can't say that. So they're not just going to go throw in the towel and just play a bunch of guys. They're not going to call up a Logan Stenberg and play him at right guard. They're not going to do stuff like that. They're going to try to go with their best guys. And I know as fans, we want to see them evaluate young guys, but as a professional football player, those guys want to win. But we all know this team's not good enough to win. So I'd like to see them evaluate some young guys. I'd like to see the younger guys in there, but I honestly think they're just going to go with the best guys that they can.
Yeah, I think that my personal thing here is simply let's get some experience for the younger guys, and it's time to evaluate talent. Because I think when I look at this linebacking core, I want to revamp this whole thing. So we're going to see who can actually be on this team next year. I already know what I got from Tavai, in my opinion. I feel like I want to see a little bit of Jalen Reeves-Maben. Is he going to be part of the future? Let's see Miles Krillbrew. I know we've seen him for a long time, but is he going to be part of the – there is a lot of players, in my opinion, the Lions need to look at in these next couple of weeks that is going to be extremely vital towards the future of this franchise, because we're not just talking about starters here. We're talking about depth players as well. Are they going to be a part of the Detroit Lions? You know what is also is, are there going to be an additional individuals joining ISN? And we have an announcement to make, because that is, yes, the case. We have 3 individuals joining ISN today. We're going to make it official. Let's Talk Lions is the new member of ISN. Huge shout out to Let's Talk Lions. We'll be having him on here plenty of times. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. If you go onto my channel, you'll see recommended channels. His is right there. And also, we got Mr. Two Tones. These are Tennessee Titans fan. They joined ISN today. Duo right there. Absolutely phenomenal content. And we are going to be having a great time talking all NFL, all sports. And if you want to know who they are, again, go onto my channel, subscribe to their channels, because they're going to be involved heavily. Let's talk about matchups now, fellas, because we do have a game Sunday, and guess what? The players are not going to just roll over, even though we think that could be the case on Sunday. The Detroit Lions versus the Tennessee Titans. Key matchups. Offensively versus the defense of the Tennessee Titans. Mark Orm from Orm's Forum. What do you want to see?
Well, this is a team in Tennessee. You can kind of pass on these guys. It's tough to run on them, and we don't really realistically have a run game. So my kind of matchup that I'm looking forward to, or just looking to see, if it's going to be Chase Daniel, if it's going to be even Matt Stafford, is if we can score on the secondary, which we should be able to score on. Their defense isn't the greatest at all, like I said, but you can pass on these guys. So I'd like to see a lot of Marvin Jones again, a lot of TJ Hawkinson, because honestly, guys, it's the only thing I trust on this team is our offense. Even with Chase Daniel in there, I just don't trust anything else but this offense. So, and Tennessee, like I said, they don't have a great D. Their secondary is kind of weak. So if you can score on these guys, you can keep pace with these guys. So I like to see the quarterback versus that secondary. That's my matchup I'm really looking forward to.
One Pride Nation and Dat Dude Live joined in here. They got YouTube channels as well. Their Lions YouTubers subscribe to their channel. Dr. Detroit is a member of mine. Huge shout out to you. And Vash Starwin, one of the most hypest subscribers out there. Yep. He's in here in the building. So what's going on? And Don Burr. Okay, here, Mr. Dern. Let me know. What is a key matchup that you're looking forward to for Detroit Lions offensively versus the Tennessee Titans defense?
I haven't really looked at the injury reports because if everyone remembers, Frank Ragnow fractured his throat.
Yes.
Yeah. So I need to know if he's playing or if Stenberg is taking his spot. But like Mark said, their defense is not that good. So you can pass on them and you can run on them very well. Mm-hmm. Okay. So is Stafford playing in this game? Chase Daniel, he's going to have to play well for me to want to keep him to the next year. Is he going to dump it off to AP and Swift a lot? Are we going to run? So I hope we start to run the ball a lot more because they're not very good against the run.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Just like there's 67 in the chat. Let's get 38 right now. Let's get to 67 thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. My full attention is going to Chase Daniel here. Yeah. He's the quarterback, and we have weapons that are not going to be in this game. Probably Kenny Golladay is not going to be in there, and he's going to be throwing to wide receivers that he's not been throwing to for the past season. How is he going to be able to perform? Because he's not Matt Stafford. And if he doesn't perform at a decent level, it's over before it even started. Is he going to be in alignment with Marvin Jones Jr.? Can he get the ball out? Can he get the ball to TJ Hawkinson and Jesse James? It's going to be in a world of hurt here, man. It's all going to fall on him because if he can't perform at any sort of level, it's done, man. He's not Matt Stafford. So I am definitely just paying attention to him and the offensive line. Can they give him any sort of protection? He's going to have to roll out a little bit, and they're going to have to get creative running the football with Jamal Agnew, jet sweep. I think you're going to have to see a little more Swift and AP. But, my God, he has got to perform at some sort of help there. Are we going to talk about Kenny at all? Well, Dern, let me know what you got to say about Kenny Golladay.
His injury, his hip flexor, was supposed to be a 2 to 4 week injury. And so it's now, 6 weeks? Something like that? 5-6 weeks? Since
going on 6.
Mm-hmm. Going on 6, yeah. So what is really going on here? If he's just playing this organization, I don't want this guy back. Okay, I get you shouldn't talk about another man's money, but I also don't want a player on this team that's going to give up on them just for their own selfish being.
But is he really giving up? I don't know. I have a hard time believing somebody who is a competitor and in a position where it's his contract year. So if he's not playing, how is that helping his balance? And
it doesn't help him at all. That doesn't help him at all.
Well,
he only hurts himself while playing. I get that. And he wants to get paid. I also get that. But he said he wanted to play for this team, correct? He wanted to stay a Detroit Lion. So if you're not actually hurt, and I don't know if he is, don't kill me if he is. You know what I'm saying? It's I just don't like it when players fake an injury just to get paid. I hate that.
I totally get it, and I'm sure there's some of that out there. It's hard for me as a competitor. I've played the game as a wide receiver. It is extremely difficult, even if you don't like the higher ups. You're playing with your team and your brotherhood. Exactly. You're playing with your family. It's difficult. Even at the most pain you feel, you want to compete and go out there and fight. So it's hard for me to really believe that this is a faking. Now, maybe he's being more precautious. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But to fake it.
Yeah, I think he's being super cautious as well.
Yeah.
I hope like you said, like you said, Mike, I can't see him faking this. I can't see him faking this because, we shouldn't be talking about his money, but he is losing money. But in the other way, if you look at it, his next contract's going to be so much more than what he's making now. You know what I mean? He's making peanuts right now, according to NFL standards. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's making peanuts. So let's say he wanted $18 million. Okay. You wanted $18 million at the beginning of the year. You never got it. Now you're hurt. Now you're showing. Now, okay, let's just not talk about the faking part. Now you're showing that you can't get on the gridiron. Okay. Now you're showing that, you had some injury history in the past, bruh. You know what I mean? Like you've been hurt before. And you went a couple years and you were good. Now you're hurt again. Now you've missed a total. If he misses this week, that's 6 games plus the other 3. That's 9 games that he's going to be out for. He's losing out on money. That's the way you look at it. But he's going to make like probably $11 million now. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's going to be more than that. I think someone will sign, not the Detroit Lions, but I think someone will pay him a lot of money this offseason.
What's going on, Steve-O? What's going on, Jay Singh? Again, if I did not shout you out, just let me know. I will definitely do that. Kenny Golladay, we're going to see that we got a new GM that's going to be coming in here, new head coach. So we have no idea what's going to take place in the offseason. We have no idea.
He's probably going to get tagged. That's my guess. He's going to get tagged, and then they're going to try to trade him possibly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But who wants that though? Who wants a guy that's injured a lot? So that's the thing. But he is a stud. That's the funny thing about it. The guy is one hell of a wide receiver. So, but who's going to give up draft picks for a guy like that and pay him? So,
what's going on, Miguel Nava? Welcome to the live stream, and John Shearman, welcome here. Let's go ahead and transition now for the Detroit Lions defense. They got a big task on this Sunday. And I think I have a feeling where all of this is going to go. Detroit Lions defense versus the Tennessee Titans offense. What is a key matchup, Dern, that you are looking for? And I have an idea. It rhymes with Merrick Menry.
Guys, the Yeti is loose. Derek Yeti Henry is going to run all over us. Ever since the snow started, he has turned it up, and we're not very good against the run already. Is Shelton playing? If he's not playing, I think he could probably go for 200 yards on us.
Oh, I have 200. Woo!
Maybe even more. If he gets 200 yards the rest of these games, he can break that record. The all-time rushing record for the year.
What's going on, Zach Carpenter? Welcome. He says, tighten up. We got Titans fans in here. And that's awesome because at 7:15 in about 9 minutes, folks, we're going to be going to you and we're going to take your questions, regardless if you're a Lions fan or not. Hashtag Lions, hashtag Titans, hashtag whatever. And we will go to you. Dern, finish this up. Talk about King Henry.
The Yeti Henry. He is going to destroy us this weekend. Yes.
I have a feeling that his D is a little stronger than Penasini. And that's a tough, strong D.
Much stronger.
Talk about King Henry and what the Lions are going to have to do to slow this guy down.
You're going to have to put
all I gotta say is Hallelujah that I don't got to play Derrick Henry in fantasy. Thank goodness. All my matchups that I'm in, I don't think I have to play Derrick Henry. I'm in the quarterfinals in a couple leagues. I don't think I have to play against him because I think he's rushing for 250 plus.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I think he's getting in the end zone 3-4 times.
Yes.
Yep.
But the thing is, like, we can't sleep on AJ Brown either because he's baby TO. He's literally Terrell Owens with faster. So he is, man. He's a monster. But with King Henry, though, my God, who is the thing about Derrick Henry is he gets stronger by each quarter. That's unheard of. He gets stronger in the first, second, third. By the fourth quarter, the defense is gassed, and this guy is just getting going. It's unbelievable. We're not stopping him. He's rushing over 200 yards. Mark that down. That's a guarantee. So, and like Don Burr said earlier, defense, not worth talking about. They're really not, man. This defense is not worth talking about. They're pure trash, man. They don't make plays. They don't do nothing. No sacks, no interceptions last week, no forced fumbles. They're disgusting. They actually disgust me. So I want to see Derrick Henry run for 250 on them. So then, hey, man, then Chris Spielman will be like, well, look at, hey, man, look at this defense. I'm sure they already know, but this defense that's what needs to be reevaluated, and then needs to be gutted. Derrick Henry is just going to put an exclamation point on it on Sunday.
King Henry, the eighth I am. King Henry is
yeah.
He is going to destroy this defense with the likes that we have never seen. You know, people talk about who is the MVP of the NFL, and everyone talks about, we should go at maybe Kyler Murray's get thrown up there for a little bit, Aaron Rodgers thrown up there a little bit, obviously Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. How about King Henry? This guy is a beast, man.
Yeah.
Oh, he's nearly going to run for 2,000 yards this season. He's at 1,500 and I think 30. I think he's got 470 to go, and he could get over 250 in this game. He is going to destroy this defensive line and linebacking core, the likes that we haven't seen. Do you think Jelani Tavai can stop King Henry?
Oh, no. No. Bro, honestly, Mike Dern, this is a legit question. Do you think it's possible that Derrick Henry can rush for 300 yards on Sunday?
Yes.
I think it's possible.
Oh, man.
The only reason it wouldn't be possible, I'm going to tell you why, is if they're up so high and they put in their backups.
Right.
I don't want him to because that makes us an even bigger laughing stock, but it's possible. We're that bad against the run. What did Jones do to us? The Packers. What did he do against us again? Almost over 200?
You rushed for 160 the first time out.
Zach Carpenter
do twice as good.
Zach Carpenter just subscribed, and a huge shout out to your Titans fan. And we just added two Titans fans, content creators to ISN. So shout out, you're going to be seeing them on here. They love the Tennessee Titans. So shout out to you for subscribing. My favorite player, I've said it for 3 years now. My favorite player in the NFL is Derrick Henry. And Antonio Hightower. What's going on, Antonio Hightower?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, brother?
What do the Lions need to do to stop Derrick Henry, Antonio Hightower?
Hope he doesn't want to play.
Yeah, that was a good one, Antonio.
Hope he doesn't want to play.
Hope and a prayer.
Without Danny Shelton, man, they gonna run for 5, 6, 7, 8 a carry. Henry gonna go off.
You think it's possible to go for 3?
Then when they hit that play action, Ryan Tannehill and go like, it's easy pickings for me.
Man.
Ugly.
My favorite player is not Christian Jones. It's now Jared Davis. He's definitely my non-favorite player. Yes, Mark Henry.
Mark
Henry. I'm thinking that's the bodybuilder, the wrestler. He's Derrick
We
Henry.
can use him on the line.
Yeah, we can use him on the line. It's just he's going to have a field day. Folks, in 6 minutes, we go to you for questions. Hashtag Lions, hashtag Titans, hashtag Saints. Whatever your team is, we're here to answer. If you want to ask me individually or one of the panelists here individually, go ahead. Ask us your question. Again, it doesn't have to be Lions related. It can be anything related. We talk about anything, and that is at 7:15. Antonio Hightower, can the Lions win this game?
Can is a strong word. Is Stafford gonna be, do we know if Stafford's going to be playing?
What's that?
Who?
Do we know if Stafford's going to be playing?
Probably not.
No.
I don't think he's going to
Yes. I agree with your nice answer there. That was extremely long and thought out. The word no. Why is that? Why can't Chase Daniel do it for us?
Because Stafford could barely do it for us. So I don't trust that Chase Daniels could do it for us. I could trust that Chase Daniels could do it for us if we had an offensive coordinator like Kyle Shanahan, but we do not have that. So, I mean, the QB of this offense is going to have to do a lot. Like if you had, like I just said, if you had like a Kyle Shanahan or a Sean McVay or Andy Reid, hey, you know, maybe we could pull it off, but we ain't got one of them guys. And Stafford, I don't even know if we would win with Stafford, so I definitely don't believe we're going to win with Chase Daniels.
This is the one game that I marked on the calendar. I said this would be the hardest game for the Detroit Lions all year. Why? Because the Tennessee Titans are a powerhouse team. Yeah. Why? They run the football with the scariest running back, the scariest player in the NFL, and Derrick Henry. He's the scariest, bar none.
Wait, scariest? What about Aaron Donald?
Derrick Henry versus Aaron Donald. I guess that's unstoppable force meets immovable object. Yes. I think those two players would be a great competition to see compete. But Derrick Henry, if you're a defender, do you want to, in the fourth quarter, do you want to stop this guy when you've been beat up all game long by this man hitting you down? He loves contact. I'm nervous for my team, folks.
I don't want to. Man, I don't want to hit him in the first quarter, Mike.
I know.
Guy's 240 pounds, 40 plus. He's a middle linebacker running the football with speed.
6'3". Like, good God, man.
It's sickening. He's a man amongst boys out there, man, and he shows it. He shows it.
Before we go to the questions, we're going to do final predictions here for the game. In the comment section, let me know your score prediction, who is going to win the game. Antonio Hightower, score prediction.
Tennessee Titans win 69-2.
That ain't happening, but I get you.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Let's go.
Good God. Dern, what say you, man? Score prediction.
I wish I knew if Stafford was going to play, but I'll just throw one out there anyway. I think Henry does have a huge day. I don't think Tannehill does much. But I think the Lions offense do a little bit versus that terrible Tennessee defense. I'm going to say Tennessee wins it 38-27.
Dang, closer than I have. Mark Orem from Orem's Forum. What say you? Score prediction.
Yeah, just like, I think King Henry's going to have a big day. I'm calling 3-4 touchdowns easily on the ground by him. Tannehill will probably throw for 2. So I'm going to say 40, a couple field goals thrown in there. I'll say 40 to 24. That's what Chase Daniel's playing. Now, if Stafford's playing, maybe we get another touchdown or another 10 points, but I think it'll be 40 to 24. I'll just stick with that.
Okay. For the Detroit Lions, it's Little Dern. What's going on, Little Dern? Welcome to the live stream. For the Detroit Lions, I have this game, Tennessee Titans as well. I have them winning 42-17. I think they're going to roll upon us. And I think that one touchdown we get will be a garbage touchdown. It's not going to be close. I just think with Derrick Henry, I think with the strength that they have, this defense is going to suck in the beginning. I can't even imagine what the fourth quarter is going to look like. It's going to be a terror. It's just going to be an epic terror. And that's what I got. Folks, hit that like button. Before we go to the questions, hit that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. I see we got 44. We got 61 in the chat. Let's get to 50 likes. The folks of Chat Sports would like me to get there. If you're seeing this after the fact, not live, do that as well. DJ Beats, what is going on? Welcome to the chat. Now it is your turn to run the show. Hashtag Lions, hashtag Titans, hashtag whatever team you're a fan of. Ask us questions. We shall answer. And we're going to start with Dat Do Live, who is a Detroit Lions YouTuber. Subscribe to his channel. It says, sorry, hashtag ISN. What did Green Bay run for last week? Don't bring up week 2. Our biggest threat to this team's biggest threat, Matty P. This is a different team. And mind you, have Henry will run 300. Ha ha. No, I agree. This team is definitely a different football team with Daryl Bevell. When it comes to Matt Patricia or Pat Patricia, like I call him, he's really hurt this football team. And they did. It's a completely different football team. With that said, there's just so much you can do with the talent that we have in this linebacking core. It's so bad. And you're going against a defensive line that's already beat up. You know, Trey Flowers ain't going to play. And there's just so much you can do against Derrick Henry.
Exactly.
Mark. Yeah. So hashtag ISN. Go ahead.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Mark. Yes, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What am I answering? Jorge's or am I answering Dat Dude Live?
Dat Dude Live.
Oh, okay. Dat Dude Live. Yeah. Green Bay rushed for over 120 yards on us last week, too. So, and we're facing a totally different animal in Derrick Henry. So, I'm still saying over 200. I'm saying close to about 250.
250.
Easy.
Okay. Hashtag ISN for the whole panel. Dimitroff is known to go skiing while his team plays and shocked he was fired. Is that the work ethic the Lions fans want to hear for the next GM, Dern?
I did not know that was a thing. So I would rather not have a guy that does that. I need a guy that is 100% committed to this team to make them better.
I just assume he'd go to a hairstylist with his hairdos. What about you, Tone? Does that worry you that he goes skiing when the team is playing?
No, that doesn't worry me. His draft history is what worries me, if anything.
Okay, this is an interesting question from Jay here. Would you rather trade for Jordan Love or draft a quarterback? I'm taking a quarterback in this draft.
I'm drafting.
Yeah, give me Jordan Love easy.
Of course.
As long as it ain't a first-round pick.
I don't know if you're being serious right now, man.
I don't know if he's being serious.
If I don't got to give him a first-round pick, I'm definitely getting Jordan Love.
Okay. He says Jordan Love. I'm drafting a quarterback in this year's draft. If Zach Wilson or Trey Lance is available, that would be my target wherever I'm picking. Right now, currently, we're the 11th spot in draft. If I can get Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, make him Honolulu blue and silver, I would be cool. What about you, Dern?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near Jordan Love because, for one, he's on the Packers.
That's true.
In division trades never happen. Well, they do in the draft, but that's for like low draft picks and everything. But Jordan Love did not do much during training camp, and he hasn't even done anything during this season. But that because Rodgers has been amazing this year, for one. I think when they drafted him, they really ticked him off. And I think it was a terrible pick by that team because just imagine if they had another wide receiver from this draft on that team. So thank goodness they drafted him. But getting off topic, I'm not the biggest fan of Jordan Love. I don't think he's that great.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah, like Dern said, I don't think trading within a division is really realistic, and I'd rather go after and get somebody else. Honestly, I didn't really like Jordan Love coming out of college too much, anyways.
Yeah.
I know he had some, like he had a couple big games. Obviously, Packers like him, but I'd rather go get somebody else. To be honest with you.
And we got 66 in the chat. 2 more thumbs up, and we get to 50. Hashtag Lions from West Branch Boy says, remember a few months ago when I said I'm not going to call this season a revenge tour because Michigan's disaster of revenge tour, it aged well. Well, It's more of a revenge tour of getting rid of Pat Patricia as head coach. So revenge tour for the fan base from that perspective, I will go with. Dr. Detroit, hashtag what constitutes a major rebuild? New owner, new GM, coach, rebuild, D, keep building the O-line, replace wide receivers, draft a successor to Stafford. Does that qualify as a major rebuild? Yes, it does, in my opinion.
100%.
That is a legit major rebuild. It can be done, though, because you see Jorge in there. He is a Miami Dolphins fan. Folks, they did a major rebuild, and they look pretty good. Why? They had all sorts of draft capital there, Antonio Hightower.
Yep. I mean, I think the thing that really makes it a major rebuild is the fact that you got to get rid of Stafford. That's like that. That's the cherry on top. Like, yeah, you got to get a new QB. Now that you need, I mean, the wide receivers. Okay, you can work with them. You can work with the O line. You can improve the D, but you don't like. But you got to get rid of Stafford. Wow, you still can't because he's injury prone. He just got injured in the last game. He's been injured multiple times the past 2 years. His trade value is going down each and every year.
Big time.
So you're gonna either way you're gonna get rid of him. So you're either gonna be trading him this year or eventually you're gonna draft a successor. So that's the thing that really makes this a major rebuild. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be a major rebuild.
One Pride Nation says, Mike, is there a chance that you'll be considered for the Lions' next GM? Well, talk to Chris Cashbaugh. It could be a possibility. That would be absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. But no, there's no chance it's going to happen.
So I'm gonna up this really quick. He does get those draft picks correct. So
I got the draft picks correct. And I said out of nowhere, I said Louis Riddick a long time ago. And I couldn't believe it, man. Hashtag panel. Will you be comfortable if Stafford says adios? If we get capital back, I'm comfortable. If he retires, I'm mad.
I mean, I'm trading him anyway, so I don't even care what he says.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? As long as you're getting something for him, I'm fine with him saying bye-bye. You know what I mean?
I need to have capital. I'm not, what happened with Barry Sanders, Megatron, I don't want that to happen again, dang it. But, if he retired, that would really suck. That would really suck, man.
It would, man. It would.
Hashtag Lions, where should we trade Stafford? Are we smart enough to finally move on? If there's destinations, there's all sorts of destinations.
There is.
Colts, San Francisco 49ers. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers? This could be last year.
I don't know if any of them teams want Stafford like that. Maybe a team like the Broncos would, because you got to consider guys like Kyle Trask, Heisman candidate. He's probably going. He might go late first, early second.
You don't like Drew Lock? You don't like Drew Lock?
I don't think Drew Lock likes Drew Lock.
I think he's immature, right, bro. He's way too immature.
You got Mac Jones. Jones, he's going to be like a second round pick.
Who?
Mac Jones, Alabama, Heisman candidate.
Who? Mac Jones?
You know who.
Then there's Sam Darnold. He's pretty hot commodity right now. You could probably get him cheap, get him away from the horrible Jets and see what he can actually do on a team with talent. I mean, a good team.
What do you expect in a trade value to get for a Matthew Stafford?
Probably a second.
I'd be angry with a second.
It would depend on the team.
I don't think there's a team that's going to trade a first when I get his draft. Or I think Mike Wilson or Kyle Trask or I can trade a second for Sam Darnold and just sit him for a year or something. Like, I don't know why. 49ers might be getting rid of Jimmy G. You can probably get him for cheaper than a first. Like, I don't know. Stafford
sucks, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Stafford's an elite QB. Like, this year, he's been pretty average. He's been getting outplayed by rookies. So I don't know how much Stafford's really going to be worth.
Put him on the Colts where Phillip Rivers is, or on the Steelers, he's going to be looking pretty good. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It depends on what team.
But if I'm those teams, I would rather have Darnold because I already have an established QB. I could either sit Darnold for a year, let him sit behind a veteran QB.
Never.
I don't know.
I don't want Darnold.
If you were on the cusp of a Super Bowl, you're going to trade for Sam Darnold over Matthew Stafford.
I don't think Stafford puts you over the top.
If you have a defense like the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they would rather trade for Stafford.
Colts,
I mean,
man,
but Stafford is not a good enough
Stafford's
QB to
better
put you over
than
the top.
Rivers.
If he has a defense and a running game, yeah, I'm sure he'll be fine.
I think
Darnold.
if he,
But I don't
so
think
too.
if your goal is to win a Super Bowl, I don't know if Stafford's a QB you want to win a Super Bowl. Because as much as we blame, as much as the things around Stafford is a part of the reason that the Lions haven't went anywhere, Stafford's own deficiencies is also a part of the reason why the Lions haven't went anywhere. It's kind of like a bad partnership. Like,
Hey,
the
Keith,
Lions have had problems, but so has Stafford, and it just a horrible mix.
I'm not wishing for Stafford to be traded. I'm just telling you, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the general manager is going to do. We don't know what the franchise is going to do. In my opinion, if we got Riddick as GM, Stafford's not going to get traded because he has gushed about Matthew Stafford and he's gushed about Robert Saleh. And to me, if he becomes GM, I think Saleh will be head coach, and I think Stafford would be the quarterback. And then they would probably draft a quarterback. Not saying, but that was just a question that came up. Some people wanted him traded, so I think the fan base kind of split. Me, I do want them to take a quarterback in the draft early on. If one falls, not one trying to force it. If you get a Zach Wilson or something like that, yeah, I'm good. Let's see here. Sorry, it's not. You don't have to do a Lions question here, but myself and my brother have a fanny question. Carr or Watson, if you can help, great. If
That's
not,
my boy right there. That's my boy, Gray Kavanaugh, right there, man.
I'm taking Watson. I think his scrambling ability always helps. I think when it comes to Derek Carr, he's up or down. Same with the team can be good or it can be really bad. I'll take Watson.
Yeah, you know what though, man? I'm kind of going through the same issue right now with Deshaun Watson, bro. He literally lost all three his starting wide receivers. Brandon Cooks could be back this week. I like the matchup with Carr versus the Chargers tonight, though. I'd probably roll. I'm serious. I'd probably roll with Carr. I don't trust Watson. He's playing the Colts too, right?
Let's split. Durham Tone. Who do you got? Fantasy.
Not even
Watson,
close.
2 Watson, 1 Carr. What do you got, Tone?
Wait, Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
The guy in Oakland.
Yeah, but you got
Sean Watson.
He's going against a very bad defense.
Yeah, but he doesn't really. His play style kind of holds him back from taking advantage of bad defenses, unless John Gruden puts him in a situation to do it.
That's kind of where I'm sticking.
Yeah,
I'm going with Sean Watson.
So we got 3 Watson, and your boy said Carr. So you make that decision what you think. But he is going against a bad defense. That does help. Hashtag Lions, as much as we need a WBU, could someone make an argument to get a linebacker in the first round? I can make an argument right now. Micah Parsons is my favorite non-quarterback in this draft. If Micah Parsons is there and we don't got a Zach Wilson or a Trey Lance, I am running to the podium and getting Micah Parsons for this Detroit Lions defense. This linebacking core is butt. It is the worst I've ever seen. I have never seen it, and Micah Parsons can really change this defense. To me, if there is no quarterback there and Micah Parsons is available, I'm taking Micah Parsons, Mark Orm.
Oh, yeah, that's a kid that I absolutely love coming out. I would take that kid over a lot of players. He's my number 1 defensive player for sure. And if guys like Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, those guys are going to be gone, Trey Lance are going to be gone, I would almost take him over a Zach Wilson for sure.
Ooh, so that says a lot.
I'm telling you, I love Micah Parsons. You could build a defense around that kid. That kid does everything. We've talked about it before with that guy. He's a former defensive end too, so he knows how to rush the passer. He's got some raw abilities to him, but the kid is the real deal. I love him.
I love him too, man. He's my favorite non-quarterback, Dern.
Yeah, it just depends on where you are drafting, because I don't think he gets past probably the 6th, 7th pick.
I don't think he does either.
For sure.
He won't get past the Eagles if they don't take it. Well, they got Jalen Hurts. I don't think he gets past the Eagles.
I think the Eagles probably take a wide receiver. They're hurting that bad for those. That's what I see from them right now. But I don't think he'll make it past around that range from what we're talking about right now, for what I know. and what I've seen on mock drafts, all that stuff. So if we're at 11, I don't think he'll be there. So it's going to be really hard. And then I have to see the other top linebackers. It just depends who falls where.
And I don't think we're going to be sitting at 11, folks, because if you look at the draft order right now, there's teams, it's from 4 and on that are 4-win teams all the way to the Lions at 11. And I don't think the Lions are going to win another game this year.
No.
Especially if Stafford's down. We could get all the way up to the 4th pick in the draft.
Yeah, and that's very range, though.
And that's quarterback range. Yes, that's quarterback range. What say you, Antonio Hightower? Could you make a case for them for taking a linebacker? Good one. Yes. Man, Antonio, his insights are fantastic. It's speechless. It's so good.
Antonio, still there?
Hashtag Lions. What is Zach Wilson's ceiling and floor? Zach Wilson's ceiling and floor. Mark Orem from Orem's Forum. What do you think about Zach Wilson? Where could he go? Where could he be a great like a Patrick Mahomes? Or could he be a Mitchell Trubisky?
You know what? He's like a thin kid, man. But he's got some great wheels on him. He's a good quarterback. I can't really find a comparison for him right now. I don't really know who he reminds me of. He almost. I don't want to say it. I think he's better than this guy that I'm to say.
He's going in and out.
Don't kill me for that. I think he's me of a Colin Kaepernick. Said he can run, he can throw. So it's going to be interesting. I think he goes in the top 10 though. He probably goes around 9 or 10, maybe. He might go top 15. So we'll see.
What say you, Dern? What say you, Dern?
I haven't really put a player to him, but the dude has such a beautiful deep ball, and he's very accurate deep, and he has such a nice spin to the ball when he throws it. It's a nice tight spiral. I would be very, very surprised if he gets out of the top 10.
Here's my comparison, but not in size, because this guy that I'm going to say has big size and he's beefy and he's taller. Josh Allen is a big, strong guy, but I think he kind of reminds me of a small Josh Allen because he needs to get more body mass to him. I think he needs to beef up, maybe add 15 pounds of muscle to him, I think, for an NFL quarterback. So I don't want him to be small like a Lock. I want him to be a little stronger, and I think he has that Josh Allen mentality to him. That's kind of what I compare him to. Hashtag Lions, as much as we need a quarterback, could an argument be made to draft? Oh, I already did that one. Why am I reading that? Sorry about that, fellas. Let's see here. What makes sense to draft Wilson and keep Stafford for at least a season because they will have similar styles? If we draft Trey Lance, Stafford can teach him a little. That makes a lot of sense. A ton of sense. If you're going to draft a quarterback, you keep Matthew Stafford to groom him. If you look at successful franchises, Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and Love. Would that be something you want to look at there, Mark Orem?
Yeah, absolutely. The next quarterback that comes in here, I totally expect for Stafford to be grooming this guy. I don't see a lot of similarities between Wilson and Stafford, though. They both got the nice arm, though, the nice deep ball. But I think Wilson's got he's a phenomenal runner, man. He's got some nice legs on him, man. He can move. He can move, man. But like I said, he's a bit frail to my liking. But obviously he'll put, hey man, you get him in that NFL program, he's going to put on some size. But 100%, if Stafford can groom him, I'm all for it. Because I think Stafford's staying another year at least anyway. So you got to have someone come in and just have Stafford tutor that guy. So I'm all for it.
What about you, Antonio Hightower?
Joe Burrow, right?
No, we're talking about should they keep Matthew Stafford and groom Zach Wilson if that's who they pick up, or a Trey Lance? Should Stafford still be here to groom him?
No, I would trade Stafford. I think you can get by with trading Stafford. Just give him a good offensive coordinator, the veteran QB to learn from, and you'll be all right.
Okay. What about you, Dern?
It all depends on what you can get for Stafford. I'm going to do my due diligence on shopping him and see what I can actually get for him before I make that decision.
From Saint Chakorov, I destroyed your name. Hashtag Bengals. Bengals fan here. Is Joe Burrow going to be the next Matthew Stafford? They're both on a bad franchise. And the first overall picks, I think he's going to be – I think that your team will get better. I think you guys are going to draft the best offensive lineman in the country from Oregon.
Yeah, he's a beast.
My guy here. You guys are going to have a legit left tackle for years to come. To me, I compare him to Joe Thomas, and that's going to really help your team out. I think that he – you know what sucks is because of his injury he had, and it's all about how he recovers from
that was brutal.
That devastating injury. So I hopefully he can. It is very similar to Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford went down for the first 2 years. I think he can have a better – I think you guys could probably win a playoff game because we haven't won a playoff game, and I think Joe Burrow will have a chance to win a playoff game or two. So I think it will be better career than Matthew Stafford was in Detroit. Not saying he's better or worse. What say you, Mark?
Yeah. I just hope that Cincinnati can build a defense around him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I think he's one hell of a quarterback. And if you can get a defense around him, man, help him out, have his defense literally help out that offense, then I think the sky's the limit for Joe Burrow.
And he's got that moxie. He's got that moxie you need there in Cincinnati. With franchises that are bad, you need to have that moxie.
Yes,
you've got to have these type of guys that come in there and have that swag. And I think he's got that swag, smoking that cigar, doing his thing. And I think that he will help your franchise out. Yep. You just got to have to build an offensive line and build a defense around him. Mm-hmm. We mess around and win Sunday. Same old Lions type of win. Don Burr, I don't think that's going to happen. It would have to take – again, we'd have to –
Jesus Christ himself had to come down and bless the football field for the Lions.
I don't think he can even help Antonio this Sunday. Oh, I think JC's taking a day. I think JC's taking a day off. JC's taking a day off on this one. He might be somewhere else. He might be hanging out in like LA or something like that.
I don't even think we could sacrifice Divergent and get anything out of there, man. I don't think it's win this game. Hashtag Lions. Why does Tavai play at all? Like, why is he playing a single down? Why isn't he cut? We have to have a bench player better than him. We do have players better than him.
You know what, man? I would like to see. I would like to see a Miles Killebrew or Jalen. We've kind of seen Maben in the past, but I wouldn't mind seeing Killebrew out there. Why not? Yeah. You know what I mean? He's not the biggest guy out there, but I guarantee you he'll bring more heart. You know what I mean? He's got to be better than Tavai. Tavai's god awful.
You know who really likes Jelani Tavai, fellas? Christian Jones. Who? Because I don't talk about Christian Jones anymore. Jelani Tavai, man, he's what is going on with this guy, man?
Well, like I said before, I think he's been put out of position just like Tracy Walker has. He's a middle linebacker that needs to be by the line. He is not a coverage linebacker. So why in the HE double hockey sticks are you putting him in coverage? In man-to-man coverage.
He gets
with wide receivers. I saw him on a wide receiver last weekend.
Oh,
man.
Of course.
7 yards away from on that touchdown play. He was 7 yards off.
Poor coaching.
He can't even stop the run, man. He can't do anything right. He's slow. He gets juked out you watch him literally, man. He's literally got his jock on the field almost 2-3 times a game. He can't break down. He's just not a good linebacker. It was just such a bad pick. It's a bad pick, man, when you draft a guy and literally ESPN draft coverage doesn't even have highlights of the guy. Like they don't even know who he was.
Highlight punters.
You remember
they don't
that?
have one to fight.
They're like scrambling. Mike Mayock at the time or whoever was there was like Jelani Tavai, Hawaii, played for Hawaii. We don't have some no highlight videos of this guy right now. Sorry guys, but he's a 250-pound slug of a linebacker. Like, what do you do?
DK Metcalf.
Yeah. Oh my God.
DK Metcalf for Jelani Tavai. That is going to go down in history as a terrible decision, and that's why Quinn Trisha are on unemployment line. Hashtag panel, the Fords passed on Brian Flores, and Patricia did not want him as defensive coordinator when hired. Your thoughts? I don't think it would have mattered who the DC was. Patricia's defense is trash.
Yep. It's better for Flores that Patricia didn't want him because he has a good gig down in there in Miami.
Yeah, this guy is. I mean, when you got coaches, anonymous coaches calling him a dictator. Oh my God, you know you're bad here. Hashtag lines is Penei Sewell somehow falls to us. Should we pick him over a quarterback? Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What?
No.
Penei Sewell is
absolutely.
Penei Sewell isn't even. It's not like he's Jedrick Wills or Tristan Wirfs from last year. Penei Sewell has like six. No.
Penei Sewell is the best non-quarterback.
Really nice. Let me clarify. He's a really nice prospect, but at this moment, he's more athlete than player. It's kind of like he's a lot like Tristan Wirfs, but less talented.
Let me end this conversation real quick. He's not getting past 3. He's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal, in my opinion.
Very true. And if he falls to the Cowboys, they're taking him.
Yeah, there's no way on planet Earth this guy is getting past the Cincinnati Bengals after what happened to Joe Burrow.
Not a chance. Yep.
That would be the biggest, this guy is a very good tackle, man, and you need to protect the quarterback. But if he fell somehow, hey, man, I'm an Oregon Duck fan. Hey, Terrell Crosby and Penei Sewell with Decker, I'm one happy guy. You got 2 Oregon Ducks, and I'm not an Ohio guy, but Decker's still good.
You know what? I might take Sewell only because of the fact, even though I know he has technical deficiencies, I like our O-line coach.
Yep.
And I like our online coach's ability to coach out some of those technical deficiencies because he's very talented, but he has real technical problems, especially as a pass blocker. He's amazing as a run blocker, but he's a lot like Tristan Wirfs, like I say. He's like a less talented Tristan Wirfs. But I kind of when I think about it, I really like our online coach, and I have the confidence in our online coach out some of the problems he has. Plus, we could probably play him at guard. He has the ability to probably play guard and tackle. So, I probably would do it maybe just because of that.
If he's an elite of the elites, and you can't pass on. So it's like passing on Aaron Donald.
I don't know about it.
Of the offense. When you have a guy that can sit there for 15
ran like a 4.6 at 285, was athletic, explosive, could literally play 1 through 9, extremely strong, had all the technique. Aaron Donald was he was an all-pro type player out of the draft.
When you can have a guy that can protect the quarterback like a Penei Sewell for 15 years, like a Joe Thomas type of player, or someone that's just there for, that's going to be there that long, and it ain't a quarterback, it is difficult to pass up on.
True.
It's like getting like an Aaron Donald or an Ndamukong Suh type of guy that's, that is there for that long, and it's going to be playing crazy for his whole career. It's hard to pass up on.
True, but the only thing about Sewell is he's not a guarantee to be a great player. He's just not. I know a lot of people like Sewell. I like Sewell. I really like his run blocking. I like his nasty, his little nasty switches on and off. I think at this moment he's kind of just more athlete than tackle. If you can coach them out, then you really got a really good player. I kind of like our O-line coach to do that, but I don't know if he's like a guaranteed, like he's not. What's his name? Tristan. What's his name? Jedrick Wills. We knew he was going to be amazing because he was an amazing athlete and he was an amazing blocker. He had crazy technique, right? And I knew Andrew Thomas was going to be eventually really good, but we didn't know how well Tristan Wirfs was going to be. He had significant blocking deficiencies. Now he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The offensive line coach got a hand on him and said, let me teach you how to block somebody because you're so much more athletic than every single person you go against.
Folks,
Yeah.
we're coming to near the end of the show. We got a couple questions here. We're just going to do lightning round really quick. Playoffs. Dolphins are making it over the Ravens. Dolphins will make the playoffs. What are you guys' thoughts? Yes, no.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah.
What do you think about free agency? Who do you got, Raiders or Chargers? Who do you think we could get out of free agency? Who do you got today, Raiders or Chargers? And who you think will let walk in free agency? I think that free agency, I think Marvin Jones Jr. is going to be walking. What do you guys think?
I think Jones is gone. Marvin Jones Jr. is gone. Who are we going to get out of free agency? I don't know. Hopefully they target 17 linebackers. Hopefully do that. And tonight I got the Raiders over the Chargers.
I'm going upset Chargers.
Nice.
Lance or Wilson? I'll take Lance.
Lance.
I hate to say this, but give me Wilson.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Marcus Mariota being traded for the Titans to the Raiders? Great trade. I think that's really good, man.
It sure worked.
Yeah.
It was free agency.
With that said, folks, guys,
it was
free agency. With that said, folks, guys, we had a great show today. We've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. Quick last words. What do you got for the folks, Mark?
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. It was a great Thursday again, man. I love it. I got some videos coming out on the Lions again. Don't forget to subscribe, everybody on the panel here, and let's go. Let's go, Lions.
Antonio Hightower.
It was nice being here with you guys. Franchise Golladay and trade him. Trade Stafford. Get them draft picks. Do not draft an offensive tackle.
Draft. And what about you, Dern?
It's always great to come on here with you guys. If you like what we do, subscribe to these guys. They work very hard to bring you content. And hope everyone's staying safe.
Yeah,
absolutely. Zach Carpenter, I wish your team the best. Hopefully there's no injuries on Sunday. Tired of injuries. And if you own Derrick Henry on fantasy team and you're not playing him, you're a #idiot. With that said, folks, adios.